What is up, my beautiful people? My name is G-Vents and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the new album by Division entitled A Muse in Her Feelings, or A Muse in Her Feelings, or I'm Using Her Feelings. You can honestly look at it in a lot of different ways. Before the review begins, I want to let y'all know that even though I'm stuck in quarantine and pretty much can't leave the house unless it's to go to work, I found myself to be super fucking busy these past 2 days because on Friday, 6 albums by artists that I listen to have dropped, meaning that I had to do 6 album review videos, including this one, for the channel. So pretty much, so you guys can get the videos on time, you guys are getting 2 videos today, 2 videos tomorrow, and 2 videos on Thursday. So yeah, get excited for double uploads for these next few days. And that being said, let's go on with the review. This is the 3rd studio album by Division, which comes to us about 2 years since Morning After. You know, that came out in 2017, which was easily probably the greatest come up project for these guys. You know, I feel like this album was the one that like put them on the fucking map. You know, a lot of the people were like so hyped, you know, they were freaking out over these dudes, and honestly rightfully so, because you know these guys are super fucking talented. Division has always been known to making a lot of sentimental projects, you know, like working with their hypnotic 90s R&B type style and just pretty much pulling at everybody's heartstrings since their debut studio album in 2016 entitled September 15. You know, that one was something nobody was expecting. You know, it was shocking. You know, it was probably like one of the best artists and projects to come out of the OVO crew. And this new album is no different, as Division pretty much deliver a very beautiful narrative of failed relationships, a lot of sexual tensions, which I think was very self-explanatory by looking at that fucking album cover of them painting this naked lady, and pretty much telling the real struggles behind toxicity. Honestly, I feel that this album is easily a lot more better than Party Next Door's new album that came out last month entitled Party Mobile. I mean, don't get me wrong, that album was pretty decent and enjoyable, you know, regardless of the few flaws that it had and the few problems that I had with it. But when I compare that album to Division's new album, you know, honestly, this new album by Division just hit me way more fucking differently, man. Honestly, the moment I got hit with that really heartbreaking and really beautiful opening song entitled No Good, I instantly got hooked right in. You know, I did not know what to expect. You know, I didn't know if I was gonna like this as much as Morning After September 15th, or if this album was even gonna be as good as those 2 projects. And honestly, I was instantly hooked right in because, you know, these dudes came at my fucking heart, like really fucking hard. Daniel Delay has the voice of a fucking angel, man. Like, I wish I had this man's fucking vocals. You know, I'm not that good at singing. You know, I can sing a few high notes here and there, but you know, like I don't think I'll ever be as good as Daniel Delay, because you know that man just has fucking God-given talent. He kind of reminds me of the modern version of Usher because of the way he's able to work with his vocals in so many different ways. You know, honestly, Daniel Delay's voice kept getting better and better as the album kept going. You know, he never disappointed. You know, he never had me bored. He just always had something new to bring to the table as every like track kept going. You know, you honestly like did not know what to expect as every like song kept going. You know, they didn't sound the same. So I honestly do appreciate that about Daniel Delay's vocals. Honestly, Daniel Delay makes you feel as if you're in a pool full of emotions that you didn't even know you fucking had, you know, including me. If you know me on a personal level, then you know I hate talking about my emotions. I don't like to feel them, you know, I don't want to like fucking deal with them. You know, it was super early. It was like 9 a.m. when I heard this fucking album, and you know, I was like, it is too fucking early to make me feel all these emotions, bro. Like I low-key had that fucking voice in my head saying, stop being a bitch, stop being a pussy, it's just a fucking album. But honestly, I couldn't help myself, you know. I felt so many emotions throughout this whole fucking album. It's not even fucking funny, bro. Another big highlight on this album is definitely the production value, because honestly, 1985 is a fucking genius, bro. Not only do you hear a lot of that nostalgic R&B and sort of like old school style hip hop throughout this whole album, album, but you hear a variety of different sounds, including a mix of techno, acoustic sounds like guitar and piano, which take up most of the production value on this album, and even a little bit of glossy pop. I really loved how diverse this album was, because although some people would say that this album sounds like a typical R&B album, I personally would say that it's a lot more different than the past two projects that Division has dropped so far. You know, I really loved how they included a lot of their like West Indian roots as like background noises, and just like pretty much included a lot of that throughout the whole album, you know, kind of giving us an insider of their culture, you know, the kind of like environment that they grew up in. You know, I just really loved how, you know, they like don't forget where they came from, pretty much. I also really love the few Jamaican vibes that this album had, specifically on two songs entitled Dangerous City and So What, which have guest features with Buju Banton and Popcan, you know, two really great Jamaican artists, which add a really great like reggae sound to their like really like great 90s R&B style. You know, I honestly haven't listened to reggae in a minute, but these two songs like really like, I guess, reminded me of why I used to love like reggae a lot, and I honestly like want to get back into it. So yeah, I honestly did love those two like Jamaican vibes. And since I was mentioning features, let's talk about a few of them, because we do have quite a list of special guests on this album. You know, I think there are more features on this than Morning After and September 15 combined. And honestly, they are another like big highlight of what makes this album sound great. And I want to talk about a few of my favorite features on this album. Party Next Door, of course, makes an appearance on this album. You know, he is a part of the OVO record label. Of course, he was going to show up on this album. And, you know, he shows up on a song called Friends, which is a pretty much like a hype R&B song. You know, Party Next Door and Division like pretty much do like a whole like tag team thing. You know, like Daniel Delay starts singing, and then Party Next Door comes in out of nowhere. You know, they honestly just sounded super good, you know, super fucking beautiful. Like I said before, Party Next Door never like disappoints when it comes to like a feature song. You know, whenever he is featured on something, he always like sounds great. So, you know, honestly, like he does sound really good in this album. Jesse Reyes also makes an appearance on this album on a song called Courtside, which, by the way, that one took me by surprise. You know, when I first saw that Jesse Reyes was included in this album, I was like, you know, I at first thought that she was gonna add a fucking like creepy and intense like atmosphere to like this like really calm and like beautiful atmosphere that Division created. And honestly, she took me by surprise, because I think this song is the first time where she pretty much like wasn't as crazy as she normally is. You know, like I'm so used to like hearing her like intense lyrics and hearing her like really like intense voice and like, you know, like really like pissed off voice, and just hearing her like go soft and like, you know, pretty much like go along with the mood and style that Division was going for just sounded so great. You know, honestly, I don't know why it took this long for Division and Jesse Reyes to make a song together, but they honestly sounded so good, and I just can't believe that she like actually toned it down a bit. Like I honestly did I love that song. And finally, Summer Walker makes an appearance on this album on a song called Flawless Do It Well Part 3, which in my opinion is probably one of the most like beautiful R&B songs that I've heard in a fucking minute. You know, the moment I heard that fucking guitar in the beginning, in the beginning of the song, you know, I just like got instantly hooked right in, and I got fucking hypnotized by fucking Division and Summer Walker's voice. You know, Summer Walker is a very underrated and underestimated artist. You know, she has such a beautiful fucking voice, and I'm just glad that Division is giving her a spotlight, because I don't feel a lot of people give her as much credit as she deserves, because honestly, she can make any fucking song sound so good. So it's like I really did love that song with Summer Walker. Overall, this album is a very great and beautiful narrative, especially for those that have been struggling with finding love and haven't been that lucky in finding love, you know, including myself. You know, I related to almost every song on this album because of my past experiences with love, you know, with like people cheating on me and everything. You know, I don't want to get into it because I don't want to like get all sentimental here and be a little bitch, but you know, I honestly really found this album to be super fucking relatable. Honestly, this is probably the best album by Division that I've heard so far, and I highly recommend this one to all of you, including the ladies. You know, if y'all have ever been wondering what goes through a man's like mind after he goes through a breakup, or if y'all are just wondering what goes through your man's like mind because he doesn't want to share his emotions, you know, this album will explain everything to you. Honestly, this album will have you wondering why you you are crying in the club, as the cool kids say these days, or at least make you wish that you're crying in the club because we can't really go out to the club at the moment. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell down below, all that good stuff so you don't miss a single one of my uploads whatsoever. And don't forget to stay happy.
You know I've been busy trying to figure my out. It just seems like you don't understand.